Oh, I realised that on listening to the last recording and my comments there, that the song, of course, was about the recording prior to these two previous recordings. Namely that we awake to God's light. And that is by definition safe and good, always. That the song has in it the answer to my concern that how much should we be taking control of dreams and perhaps even our own life here? Or are we here because there's a necessary lesson to be learnt, not simply escaped from because we don't like it? Well, awaking to God's light, which has to mean you're suddenly aware of the morning, the light. You're awake, you're alive, you stop sleeping, is our very basic understanding of goodness, isn't it? That life is to be valued, and light, and of course, what we understand God to be, who is our personal personification of all that is good. But I mean that in a very real sense of personification, just as my view of me is a personification of the experiences that I've had, at least in this life on earth. Now, we can awake into God's presence, awareness of Him, in full worship, in full love, in full devotion. And this can come at any time. Sometimes it's without our expectation, and sometimes it's by our hope and deliberate action that we move towards a realization of the awareness of God. And no doubt if there are more things to be learnt here, say, in this life, well, we'll drop back into it. Samsara, I think, as the Buddhists might call it. We'll drop back into the world of delusion, conventional reality, and dabble a bit longer. And so too with the dreams, isn't it? We might wake from a dream, or it might simply fold into another. Because of the ingredient that has come into it, namely an awareness of God. And of course dreams may fold into another simply because of fright and so forth, if indeed fright doesn't wake us up, if it's what we call a nightmare and so on. And incidentally, you might then be rather concerned or scared about falling asleep again because you don't want to continue such nightmare or something similar. In which case, I think the best solution is to go through very carefully, thanking God things you're thankful for, and you will quickly tune your mind into not a fear, but a trust. A trust in the sheer benevolence of God and how He's brought you to that present moment through your life to date. Thank you, Heavenly Father. Now here is a strange and marvellous thing that you may not follow, for instance, my explanation and discourse in this particular recording now, but still be transformed by the hearing of it. Perhaps because the words themselves, being associated with good things, and that retunes the mind, you're focusing on good. Or perhaps, it might be and/or, perhaps, the realization of the purpose that, Marshall's doing this because he wants to bless, doesn't he? He wants it recorded for his own future use and also to be a blessing to others. In other words, the motive might come through, whether you understand the explanations in there or not. And that in itself, to be in the presence of right motive, in this case one of kindness, lifts, to be in the company of someone who has good motive towards you, kind disposition towards you. Well, it's just lovely, isn't it? So, surprisingly, it's not understanding, is it, that really counts. What counts is our experiences and how they retune us. It might be through understanding. Some understandings give us a tremendous lift when we suddenly see the light. In that sense, we find out truth as far as we can see, understand it, and we track down and think, wow, is that so? I follow that. That's good, that will be valuable. I'm going to do that, or what a blessing that is to know that. And you're lifted. Hang on a sec. Well, surprisingly then, God does not emphasize in our living understanding. Most people are not giants of understanding. They're giants of experience. The experience of life. So channel yourself towards good experiences. For that will determine what you become. And by good, I mean experiences of joy and blessing and truth and faithfulness and integrity and love and kindness and all the values we associate with God. Forever be selecting a path that leads you to that. Good practice, good company, good reading, good environment. Good as in that good sense of what our God personifies in values and goodness. And you will rise. Simple as that. And not actually much by your own effort, but by the encouragement and support and the willingness of the whole of heaven, both around you, in you, everywhere. The whole of God's being will come to your awareness. Thank you, wonderful one. Dearest friend, thank you so much. Thank you, Heavenly Father. So do you see then that the way to heaven is to constantly choose the right path. Choose those things which you know will lead you in the right direction. I had this morning before I was doing the recordings at all, and the song in particular that started it, I had words in my mind of a song. I used to regularly get it each morning, different words of a particular different song appropriate to the day, that would just be there in my mind. And this time I had "In Your Presence, Lord." It's a Christian song. I won't sing it to you, but I think you probably had enough singing. But it's very much a worship song. And simply to say "In Your Presence, Lord" conjures up in, for instance, my mind, thought of the awareness of being aware of God, just being in God's company. And likewise then, any environment we're in is starting to mould our thoughts. It's not our rationality that forms our understanding. I can reason a thing till I'm blue in the face. You're not persuaded because your experience strikes you as otherwise. It's your experience that brings your understanding, the understanding that you have. So choose paths that are going to give you an experience that will give you an understanding, that give you the fullness of life, eternal life, life in the presence of our Heavenly Father and all the host of heaven, all his good family, if you like. So the words we speak are words ever true, faithful and kind, loving and pure. That's our goal, isn't it? And we practice that. We sing good songs, not songs of sorrow, sadness and loss, or revenge or something awful. We sing good songs. We read good things, what we understand to be of the stature of Scripture, true Scripture, as we understand it, and encouragement. We seek good company, people we just feel to be the best of those that we come to know. We choose good thoughts, we choose thankfulness. We are positive, we choose to be positive, we choose to encourage, we choose to bless, we choose all the goodness of God. And we grow accordingly, because that's what we're eating. Oh yes, choose the best diet too. If I could put in my pet thing here, choose to eat fresh fruit. More of that and less of the other, and you'll soon find out what's the best diet for you. Perhaps don't throw yourself into it 100%, except perhaps for a few days, like a fast. Fast on fruit, by which I mean fast from all other foods and just eat fruit. Hang on, I've got distracted. But whatever you see as good and lovely, pursue these things. In fact, the scripture in New Testament, whatsoever is good and lovely, think on these things. Follow that. You will do well, very well, and you'll be a blessing to those around you, and a joy to the whole of heaven, including, of course, our Heavenly Father. Such a joy. And you may not imagine that God dwells in you, but that too is incredible, helpful understanding. And if you just flirt with the notion that our Heavenly Father lives in you, loves you, cares for you, guides you, always, always, always. You will do well. Thank you, Heavenly Father.